an adorable 5 of tails. I love the little cutie butt. I love my cat's butt. Hello everyone, it's Silvia. Welcome back to my channel. So for the second time in the 3 years that I've been here with you guys, I experienced something unusual. I was filming a video in which I was showing you the latest STANHOPE decks and books that became part of my collection recently. And I started with a deck that, let's say, it made me nervous because I had really high hopes for it. It's an Insight edition deck. And on the one hand, I had high hopes for it because it's the Dune deck, and I love Dune. I especially love the books, but I also really enjoyed the movies, the TV show, the older movies, everything related to the saga. But I was very nervous because the more I enjoy, the more I love, let's say, a movie or a book, when they decide to make a tarot deck out of it. And when the company releasing that deck is Insight Edition, we all know that it's a bit of a hit and miss. And what happened with the Ghostbuster Tarot actually really hurt me. And so I really did not want that to happen again, not with Dune. So I was very nervous, but I started with that deck. And guys, that deck is so good, but it's so good that I just had to film the whole video about it because I just couldn't shut up about the cards. And it became a me rambling video for an hour about how good this deck is. And honestly, if you'd asked me a couple of years ago if I ever would have reached a point in which I would have, uploaded Insight Edition for the stylistic choices and everything related to a tarot deck production that they actually did, I would have laughed at your face because honestly, we had some incredible, not good stuff. Really not good. I don't want to use strong words, but oh my god. So, when it comes to the Dune Tarot, believe me, it's just really amazing. If you want, you can go back and watch that video. And it's funny because I got progressively more and more excited, but at the same time also more scared, because I was really kind of hoping that I wouldn't have to film a video in which I was going 3/4 of the way through all of the cards, and that towards the end I found some really lazy minors, and then I was kind of needed to decide whether to stay with that deck for the whole length of the video or to move on to other decks. In any case, it went well. I just truly love it, and now that I've been using it a couple of days, oh my god, there's so much more. I didn't even realize. There's so much more on the choices. It's clearly based on the movies, the recent movies, Dune 1 and Part 1 and Part 2, but it's perfect. The choices of the creator of the deck about which scenes from the movie to utilize in what way for what card, it's spot on. They just make sense. It's amazing. Honestly, wow, it really blew my mind. So I had to stay with that deck for the whole video. So now we're going to have a look finally at what other decks I actually acquired and I was also gifted for this month of January. So let's have a look. Okay, let's start with the deck that I wanted since I've seen it for the first time. And it was very difficult to get this deck when it was released at the same time in the US. We had to wait months for it to be released here. It would have been a perfect deck for Halloween. This is the Grimtails Tarot by Fiona Hedgewood, released by Llewellyn. And it's so weird because I see a lot of inconsistencies when it comes to the format of the tarot decks from Llewellyn lately. I don't mind it, But I'm just thinking Llewellyn has always been so consistent. You know, Llewellyn, let me show you. The Witch Sister Tarot. This is a typical Llewellyn deck. You see the difference in size? Never mind my big face. So it's literally, I don't know how many times, probably close to 2.5 times as big. And that means obviously that it comes with a really big book. Most of the times is not a little white book, it's a companion book. It's a veritable companion book with lots of information. But even when it's not, I don't know if you noticed that not every deck Llewellyn produces comes with with a large entry for each and every card. So even when it doesn't have a lot of information for the cards, you can still find that it's a very luxurious kind of format. Then what they did with the Lubanco Tarot last year, they kind of switched format, and to me, at the beginning, it looked like a US Games deck. Like I was convinced in my head, probably my lizard brain was, completing information that I didn't have. Think about the Fyodor Pavlov tarot. It's the same size, same concept, but it was still by Llewellyn. The Lubanco is the mass market version is still by Llewellyn. And so it's a different size to the bigger one. And this is even smaller. And I'm kind of worried because I'm thinking, and okay, obviously they also released a few decks in a mini version, but that's different. It's not the only version that you can buy of those decks. I'm just worried that if they're going to minimize the output for whatever reason, and I love this wraparound magnetic box, really cute, so very reminiscent of indie decks. Really, I love it. I've got nothing against it, but I'm just worried that is that a way to kind of jack up the prices, without actually doing that? So keeping the prices as they are, but improving their profits because this probably costed less when it comes to the cost price of the product. I'm not entirely sure. There's a lot of companies that do that. No one can convince me that the burgers at McDonald's, not that I go to McDonald's, I don't, and I have nothing against it. I don't think it's particularly healthy, but you do have healthy choices now because the salads are perfectly fine. But my husband loves I don't even know what they're called. They're like milkshakes. He loves the milkshakes. And so every now and then we go and I look at the burgers and I think there's no way that 15 years ago that was the same size of the burgers. No way. At least not in Australia, not in Europe. Maybe you guys in America still have large size burgers at McDonald's. But honestly, and they're still the same price, or it went up just with inflation, but the sizes are reduced. So obviously they spend less to produce it, but they still charge you the same. So they make more profit. And I'm kind of like thinking, is Lylin doing the same? I don't know. I've got nothing against it, but if you go smaller, I get that it's a really beautiful product like this. But guys, you can't charge me exactly the same cost for these two decks because you see what I mean? And I just hope that this doesn't become the norm. Like, I would love to see a bigger deck, or, I'm all for saving money. Absolutely. I'm all for it. But then in that case, please, at least, I don't know, knock off 20% of the deck price, of the usual deck price, because you see. In any case, when I received this, I had to read, and as a matter of fact, let me just do it now. I had to read the back because I don't know if you noticed here. I'm sure you have because this deck has been in circulation for a few months in the rest of the world. And I had to buy secondhand because it's still not available online in Australia, but I know that some people bought it from different retailers. So um, I hadn't noticed, but it's not Grim Tales, as in Grimm with two M's, as in the brother Grimms, the German brothers, say the the fathers of the dark Gothic fairy tales. just as much as Andersen, for example. So it's not the grim tales, it's the grim, as in the adjective, as in dark, obscure, the pressing, also grim. And that kind of changed it because I thought that it was based on fairy tales. And I thought, well, it's still okay because I'm still going to like it because it's a dark deck. And then I read from the back, and it says here, welcome to the eerily familiar world of the Green Tales Tarot, where images and symbols from fairy tales magically mingle with undercurrents of occult secrets that lurk behind cottage doors in dark forests. So it's still based on dark fairy tales, just not necessarily on Brother Grimm's fairy tales. Maybe there's one of them as well, but also others. And it's obviously still really dark. So I went like, okay, you know what? I'm all for it. Let's just get into it. So really beautiful wraparound magnetic box. We have the guidebook here, but what I'm going to do is just literally doing like this. As you usually find in a guidebook by Llewellyn, you have the full page of the card on the left, and then you have however long that entry is on the right. So we'll have a look at a couple of cards, but for now, I just wanted to see how it was laid out. I like it. I like it, but a little bit more of, if you charge me 50, I think it's 50 something dollars Australian for this product, which is, as I said, the same as the larger ones, then I kind of expect the same sort of output. And if it's not, perhaps maybe consider charging less. That's what I'm thinking. But as always, the printing companies, the printing industry, you'll never really, unless you work in it, just gorgeous box store. Look at this. Wow, it's really dark, but at the same time, very juicy, very exquisite in its darkness. So they've done a fantastic job. I'm not saying they haven't. Really, really enjoy this. So let's have a look at the cards. I mean, as I said, I shouldn't say anything about the printing company. It's not a company that I know much about. So it's funny because Queen of Wands. Oh, cutie! Look, there's a skeleton here. Let me just not maybe. Okay, I'm just gonna do here. This is like a bird skeleton, like a chick skeleton here. Love it. So with a unicorn, holding the skeleton with a chick in the hand. So what was I saying? It's funny because I received so many emails from printing companies saying, "Hi, Fairlight Tarot. We're a printing company. We would like to offer you the possibility to print your tarot deck with us." I'm like, so you never even watch any video on my channel. You just literally look at the title of the channel, the name of the channel. You assume that I made a tarot deck, and you want to make your selling spiel to me because you're a printing company. At least have the decency, because my name is not hidden. It is literally in the information of the channel. So if someone actually addresses me by name, I'm more willing to respond. But if someone starts with, "Hey, Fairlight Tarot, print with us, print your tarot deck with us." I mean, guys, seriously, I'm not going to answer that. And the most insistent ones, the ones Fairlight Tarot, did you see the email we sent you? No, and I'm not going to. Oh, look at this Four of Pentacles, talking about amassing your fortunes. Really, really gorgeous. So in any case, whenever I decide to create my own tarot deck, which is something that I'm not completely averse to do, then I have so many good offers from all of these printing companies. And, and I'm thinking the day in which I will finally choose to get back to their email and say, "I actually do have a tarot deck to print. Can you give me an offer?" That will go, "Oh, sorry, we didn't know." Something, I don't know. Look at the Knight of Cups. Sorry, I didn't really pay much attention. I was just too engrossed by my story. But I noticed already that there is a darkness, but it's also a Wednesday Addams kind of darkness, as in there is a very self-conscious conscious presentation of really dark elements with the idea that there is also a sense of affection and appreciation for these. So obviously, the Queen of Wands, that was the unicorn that was holding the skeleton of a chick. There was a sense of affection there, but obviously, we also look at the skeleton of the chick as bones. So it's still dark, but at the same time, there is a kindness and a sense of acceptance that is projected onto items that normally you would see as props to scare you. So I'm loving the fact that the Knight of Cups, for example, as a mean of transportation, they have this toad. It's really, really cool. Or, the octopus with the Four of Cups. And it looks like the octopus is actually embracing the girl. The piranha. And this is brilliant because obviously we do remember that the usual iconography for the Page of Cups is, the holding of a cup, and out of this cup there jumps a fish. But this is a piranha, so obviously there's still that element of darkness infused in the images, but at the same time, it's actually rather cute. I know that I might not be in the majority when I refer to a piranha as a cute element. And as a matter of fact, I was very little when I watched a movie called Piranhas, and I was really impressed. Like it really got printed on the retina on my eyes, and I kept on thinking about one scene in particular, in which there is this guy that has to jump in the water to rescue something or someone. I don't remember what, but he knows, and he's already like half his body has been mangled by piranhas, and he knows that there's more piranhas in the water, and he still has to go, and he still goes, and they pull him out of the water, and he's losing even less, and he's missing even more kind of flesh, and I was like, why would you do that? Why? So the Baba Yaga, yes, definitely the Baba Yaga with the Ten of Wands. I love it because there is this sense of acknowledging that the Baba Yaga carries a load on her shoulders. So I'm enjoying that. And another night with the really quirky mean of transportations, which is, I suppose, a wasp. Doesn't look like a bee. I know my difference between the two. And the Three of Wands with the Green Reaper. The Three of Wands with the Green Reaper. You know what? This is the time in which I actually want to go to the guidebook and have a look. So I am not going to do it too often for this deck because I know that you guys have it. Like a majority of you probably have this deck. Where did I put the... Oh, it's here. And I'm not going to bore you. So, but this one, I just don't really understand why would you portray the Grim Reaper for the Three of Wands, which is the moment in which you put your wills into motion, and there is this acknowledging that the world is your oyster. And so you literally move from a situation of Two of Wands in which the whole world that you have fits in your palm and it's just too small for you, to the moment in which you step out. So let me just check this out. So Three of Wands. So exploration and expansion, yeah, progress. There are challenges ahead, but giving in to fear won't achieve your vision. Beautiful. It's time to be bold in your action. This is a sign that efforts are beginning to bear fruit. You're gaining momentum and opportunities are unfolding because you dared to take a risk. It invites patience and vision, reminding you that while success is on the horizon, it requires continued faith and preparation. So far, it doesn't even mention the Grim Reaper. I really hope that this is not just a generic book. So far, it is. When the Three of Wands appears, it encourages you to keep dreaming bigger, to stay open to possibility, and to trust the journey you have begun. Can signal a time to can signal it can signal a time to expand your horizon through education, taking a journey, or aligning with intentional partners who share your vision. Love the description. This is the Three of Wands to a T. I really love the way they infused the explanation also with the idea of fire, because obviously the fire is the alchemical elements that motivates you to do things, especially in the Suit of Wands. but there is no explanation as to why there would be the Grim Reaper, unless we're looking at the junior Grim Reaper. I mean, I watched Supernatural, so of course, if you watch Supernatural, you will remember that there's different Grim Reapers, and sometimes they just started their job and they're not necessarily um, very good at it. So it might be that, but it says, okay, well, you've been promoted, you're not the Grim Reaper. Hesitate not and just go ahead and do your job. I don't know. So I'm just trying to make it even more whimsical than it actually is. I actually do not necessarily believe that these images are whimsical. They are different. This is Harry Potter energy to me. They are definitely different. They are dark. They are grotesque. This one reminds me of the Madame Lydia tarot, but this is Sleepy Hollow, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Oof, beautiful Six of Swords. Wow, nice. Wednesday Adams, there you go. I was about to say there's so much Wednesday Adams energy in these figures. Also, the way in which their skin is slightly almost as if it were painted white. So it's Edward Scissorhand with the Two of Swords. Love it. Brilliant. Brilliant. So I love this deck. I'm enjoying it. This is my favorite cardstock, by the way. This is from his Infernal Machine. I forgot the name. There is a YA book. I forgot the name. Apologies for that, but it does remind me a lot of that book, which I haven't even read, but it's on my wish list. I don't necessarily want to read a YA, but then again, I love his Dark Materials by Philip Pullman, which is classified as YA. I'm like, well, maybe because the protagonist is a teenager or a younger girl, but my God, the themes about those books, not YA at all. Oh, look at the Ten of Cups. This is beautiful. Really lovely. I love the fact that you got two sort of cats and you got the mice dancing in here, like in a shape of a rainbow. Really funny. Really, really cute. Ooh, loving the Justice card. Blindfolded, but their eyes are actually there, and they could actually open their eyes if they wanted to with two different colored crows weighing her hands down. So amazing. I feel like we could definitely do a deck study of this deck. With my members, we do regular deck study, and we have done all of the majors so far of the Unveil Tarot. So if you want to join my membership, we're really getting into it, like really getting into it. I released a document of 50 pages about the interpretation of the inner frame and the outer frame, because the Unveiled Tarot has this kind of layout, an inner frame and an outer frame. And then I discuss about the duality of the two images and how they convey the meaning of that specific tarot card. We're having so much fun. Really love studying that deck. And after that, we're studying the Find Your Magic Tarot. And maybe we might be looking into this deck, but obviously I always do a poll with my members to see what they want to study next. The Six of Pentacles is super cute. I love these balloons with, even the spider here. See, when a spider is like this and there's another spider here, I'm actually not grossed out. Oh, look, this is so cute. It's got all the little ghost. It's adorable. The Ten of Pentacles. Six of Wands. The King of Wands, love it because it's standing on top of a piece of cheese and obviously it's a mouse. Queen of Swords, really beautiful. Is that called a harpy? Because I never know. I think it is. It might be. Let's say it's inspired by it. Um, I like it because there is this sense of resilience. I can see that from the makeup on the eyes. Uh, I like it. And the Ace of Wands. Look, I like this deck. I know that there's been a lot of people commenting on this deck and not necessarily liking it. I love the backs, by the way, because they remind me of the chipmunks in The Wizard of Oz. There's a few elements that I really appreciate. I am someone who really appreciates or likes and enjoys dark and macabre themes. that's just my favorite genre when it comes to books and movies. And when that is reflected in an intelligent way in a tarot deck, and this deck is, it feels to me like the choices were quite smart. So I really enjoy it. Obviously, this is a first impression, and I might actually change my mind once I start using the deck, and maybe it will not resonate at all. But it looks really interesting. So I'm quite happy that I finally was able to get it. And then let's go ahead. I'm just picking them up. This one is completely new. I haven't seen it much in any channel yet. I think it's just been released. This by Hay House. The Witch's Way Home Oracle by Emma Griffin. The artwork is by Roma May Design. I was really intrigued by the design because it feels to me like Hay House, when it comes to Oracle decks, we have a lot of these kind of vibes in an Oracle deck by Hay House. And sometimes it feels like, even though they're incredibly affordable, I believe this one was only 23 Australian dollars. So obviously that was discounted though. I think that the full price would have been probably around 35. I'm not entirely sure. But it is still available for $23 Australian, which is an incredibly good price considering that everything has gone up now. Everything is, I mean, okay, I know I shouldn't complain, but Australia's got the most expensive passport on the world, in the world. Seriously. An Australian passport. Actually, you know what? Let me just double check because I don't want to say something wrong because they jacked up the prices on the 1st of January. So let me check. So the standard 10-year passport for an Australian citizen is $422. And just to give you an example, just to compare it, so the the Italian passport is around 116 euro 20, which is about 190 US, and 190 Australian dollars. So the Australian dollars for a 10 years passport. So the Australian dollars is 422 versus 190. So it's basically more than twice as expensive. More than twice as expensive. So everything has gone up in price. The 1st of July is the 1st of January. Duh. I just cannot. There's so many things. The toll charges have gone up. Fuel has gone up. Milk has gone up. Rent has gone up. We're like, what the hell is going on here? Because we have always had tariffs. It's not like in the US that you guys have seen prices going up because you have all of the import tariffs now going on. We've always had them. So, and it's not like the tariffs themselves have gone up in percentage. So I really don't justify this, but in any case, it's a matter of global economy. Obviously, everything has a domino effect on everything else, but so I'm really stoked that I'm still able to buy a Hay House deck for 23 Australian dollars. The Witch's Way Home, as I said, really, really intrigued by the art style. By the way, in here it says, "Welcome, beloved witch. You hold the magic. These cards are simply the key to unlocking it." Cool, love it. I love the inside as well. See, they're doing really cool stuff nowadays, and Hay House, to name one, they just succeed in keeping the prices decent, if not downright low, because $23 for a deck is actually a good price. And it's not even a tuck box, it's a two-part box. And this is a 40 odd cards. Oh come on, outside there. A 44 card deck and guidebook. So we have a decent amount of cards, decent product quality. Oh, nice. Look at this. Really cute. Different design, but obviously the design is very personal. You might not like it, so that's fine. But when it comes to appreciating the product value, what you get for your bucks, it's actually excellent compared to other companies, because $23 for all of this, when it's a Los Carabao deck, in Australia they sell for around $60 and you have a tack box most of the time. So you know what I mean? It's just 3 times as expensive, or almost 3 times as expensive, but you get nowhere near the amount of quality that you get. In any case, I'm not making a polemic or anything. I'm just stating the facts. So this is the guidebook. And I'm okay that it's in black and white and it doesn't show you the images of the card. We do not need them. We have the cards. What I do like is that there's a couple of spreads here. I always appreciate it when they give out a specific spread because it means that they literally made the effort to look at their own decks and understand what the vibes were and how you can best use them in your spreads. So really, really appreciative of that. Well done, Emma and Roma, I think. And yes, Roma May. Roma May. I love the name Roma May. So let's have a look at the cards that comes with the belly band here. Let's see, maybe, there you go. The Inner Witch. Heal the witch wound. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. That's so gorgeous. You know what? This deck will go really well with the next World Tarot, which I actually put back on the shelf. But I was talking about that deck the other day because it's a relatively older, not old, but older deck, and it's still very relevant. Like it was produced, created 9 years ago, but at the same time, it still feels really modern. And the art style is very similar, reminds me a lot of this one. And so it would be really, really nice. Although I will have to say that when you pair up a Tarot and Oracle decks that have a very similar style in so much as they are so busy, they have so many elements, so many symbols on the cards, it might actually become overwhelming. And the next World Tarot is very busy, super busy. It's very witchy, but we knew that it's the witch's way home. So what did I expect? Of course, it's very witchy. And this to me feels like it would also pair really nicely with the Cozy Witch Tarot, but they had the spirit to actually explore a little bit more age diversity in the cards because it feels to me, first impressions, that there's more variety when it comes to ages of the protagonists. And look at the fox, autumn, so gorgeous. Maybe also other decks, and I'm thinking because of all these animal cards, maybe even the Oak Ash and Thorn or other decks. I was recommended the Heartwood deck. I looked into it. I love it. So it's definitely on my wish list. Thank you for recommending it. This is one of the cards that I actually looked at. It was available for us to look at in the listing when I bought this deck, the Animal Guides. I love this card. Not just because, okay, you have so many animals there, fair enough. Of course, you have from a very airy animal such as an eagle or even a bat to a watery animal such as an octopus and a fish to, earthy animals. So it really gives you the idea that there is this complementary kind of energies that you can choose from. But at the same time, my appreciation goes to the fact that they're all moving into one direction. And I really love that because when you do a reading, you obviously put 3 cards. So if you put them like that, you will have, obviously, I didn't pick the cards now, they're just the contiguous ones. But obviously, this will give you energy as in, oh, sorry, does my face that? Yeah. Well, in any case, we can do this. So obviously, these 2 cards will give you the idea that you can read directionality. And whenever I can read the directionality, I do. Even though, generally speaking, I know of a lot of people that only do that with Marseille decks, which is, oh no, guys. Uh-oh. What's going on? No. Oh, no. I'll have to send it back now. Which card is damaged? Look at this. Clearly damaged. Okay, it's a mystery because none of the cards is damaged, but this is clearly like an issue that would have happened during the printing. And I just don't, because this looks to me clearly like it's from the back of the cards, you know what I mean? So unless they did a check and maybe one of the cards was, with this problem and they removed it and they replaced it. So now I need to pay attention to the number of the cards just in case they did not replace it. But anyway, it's fine. It's fine. I've never had that happening to me with the Hay House deck. Look at the astral plane, so beautiful. So as I was saying, oh, the spirit world. Wow. So as I was saying, I like to read directionality when I can, even though there's a lot of readers that only apply directionality to Marseille decks, which is fine because that's literally where directionality came from when reading a deck. But I like to find different ways to read combination. And that's also something that we're going to study with my members. So we're doing a tarot reading course, and we started 2 years ago. Last year, we focused on a lot of numerology, astrology, and other elements and other disciplines to study together with the tarot. This year, we're taking a step further and reading combination of cards together in a sort of a Lenormand kind of way, but not with Lenormand cards, obviously. And it means really, you're coming to the level in which you can confidently give a reading to others when you can read cards together. And directionality is one of the things that allows you to do that and tells you more or less in which direction or which card you should read together. So really, really cool. I actually cannot wait to start teaching that because it's boring. Sorry, but it's boring to teach. The full card is about new beginnings. And when you start teaching the difficult, not the difficult stuff, but the interesting stuff, that's when it becomes really empowering for both the teacher and the students, I think. Trust yourself. This is really beautiful. As far as Witchy decks go, it feels like it's very complete, and I wouldn't necessarily need more than 45 cards. And I did not pay attention to the number of the cards, so I will have to recount it, but that's fine for now. I'm assuming that there's absolutely no problem with the deck, and at least I'm hoping that there isn't. With having said that, I really like it, regardless of whether there will be a damage to the card or not. I really like it. I like the design. I like the color, love the colors. I mean, look at this card. The association with these colors is just really awesome. And which here is wearing rings, which is, so typical me, as you can see. This one, it's one of my latest. It was only $10, but it's actually a teeny tiny watch, and it works. It actually works, although I haven't fixed it yet. But I just love the fact that it's a skull and you open it up and you can see what time it is. Love it. And I love the deck as well. Okay, the next deck has got to be one of the cutest decks that will ever be released this year. Prove me wrong, because I've seen a few cards and it's adorable. It's the Witch's Cat Tarot. So two witches decks. I didn't do it on purpose, by the way, just so happened to be. This is the Witch's Cat Tarot Secrets, Guidance, and Spells from our feline familiars. Trika, illustrated by Sonia Prohl. So I'm really excited about this deck because it was for sale at a library, a bookstore, and I was able to, there was a copy that was open for us to see on display. And I was really excited to go through all the cards because sometimes when it comes to these decks, they need to resonate in a deeper level than just being super duper cute. Admittedly, I would still buy them if they were just super duper cute. But especially when it comes to a cat tarot, a cat themed tarot, because I have so many already, I'm kind of limiting myself unless they are incredibly new and fresh and presents cats in a different way other than the ones that I already have. I won't necessarily buy them. But this one, I was able to look at the cards and they're all as cute as the image here. I mean, look at this one. It's such a cutie patootie. I just, I don't know. I'm such a big baby when it comes to cats. I just love everything about them. They're so elegant and they feel so fluffy and soft and warm. And when they purr, it's like really healing. And the studies actually attest to that, that the frequency of the purr It's kind of acting on our nervous system and giving us a sense of well-being. So, in that case, I know that I don't have to convince you that cats are awesome. And I know that there's people who say they don't like cats, they prefer dogs. Guess what? People like me exist. I like both. And I know every time I say this to someone, they'll like be, yeah, you're probably fooling yourself, but no, I love both. I grew up with dogs. Then I had cats for 15 years, and now I have one, and he's treated like a prince because obviously I have to spoil him so much. So we've got, yeah, a very simple guidebook, as you can see here, but I still appreciate the fact that at the end of the day, it does give you a fair bit of information here. For example, I also see that there's a slightly rename to the core cards and also to the minors. So we got the Sage of Claws. Is it the Queen or the King of Air? I'm thinking. So there's a Witch of Claws. We've got the Apprentice of Claws, which really speaks to me of page energy. Pages are apprentices, students. Then if they follow the traditional, let's say, evolution on the core cards, the Witch of Claws should be the Knight of Claws or Knight of Air. And that stands tall on the cloud. They have a broom, so yeah, so there's this sense of movement. So the witch is the knight, then I'm expecting the crown to be the queen, and then the sage to be the king. That's what I'm expecting. The wise elder black cat pairs with the energy of a star, symbolizing fresh starts and rebirth. Crescimoon's circlet perched atop her head. She sends blessing through her sharp, clever claws. Yeah, it feels like it. Although Danny talks about surrounded by tulips, but rebirth, a cozy nest, comfort and growth, eggs, fertility, and flickering candles, illuminations. This is more about, especially also Stara, this is more pointing to the Queen of Pentacles. So I'm thinking maybe clauses Pentacles. It doesn't really feel like Pentacles though. Let me just start about that. So there's pause and there's minor arcana pause. Meet the pause, a kind of earthy wise brown cats who bring their down-to-earth magic to the tarot in the coziest catnip-scented way, rooted in earth energy. So paws are earth. This is not what I would have expected, but I can kind of see when you have a paw print, it kind of looks like a coin. So I'm okay with that. That's the way in which I will remember it. Then you've got the Claws. The Claws clan is a sleek group of black cats, masters of luck, mischief, and sharp thinking. These clever felines slink through life's twists and finesse, guiding us through challenges with magical will and communication skills, ruling over air. So yeah, I was right. So Claws, okay. Okay, well, I'm fine with that. The Chrono Clause is the Queen of Air. But it does symbolize the energy of a star. I mean, I can sort of see that. Obviously, there's different theories about what time of the year and which Sabbath the specific suits are about. So that's okay. Like a cat gratefully navigating a tricky rooftop, you too can face life's challenges with confidence, unafraid to swipe at anything that crosses your boundaries. That is very Queen of Swords. Create a ritual to honor a star's new beginnings by planting some seeds in your garden or a pot to symbolize growth in your life. That's fine. And the sage, I'm expecting it to be the King Beltane, surrounded by tulips. It's a feeling of sharp intellect and clear vision, urging you to trust your inner wisdom too. Okay, you know what? Tails, that's gonna be wands for sure. And then whiskers, maybe not. Sorry, let me just double check. This is getting more difficult than I expected. It reminds me of the frustration that I used to feel when I was looking at the renaming for Insight Edition decks. So tails, here comes stretching the tails, the fiery ginger felines of the tarot. I love the association with the colors of the cat. These tangerine cuties embody the vibrant energy of the sun and the essence of fire. So tails is fire, so wands, and whiskers is water. Meet the whiskers, the white-coated cats ruling over water, intuition, emotion, and spirituality. It will probably take me a while. Tails is easy, claws is easy. Paw prints with the paws is okay. So obviously by elimination, you think of whiskers as water, but it doesn't really speak of water to me. It doesn't matter. I'm just, thinking out loud because I need to remind myself on how to make the associations between the cards. Love the fact that there is a reinforced inner sleeve here, so it doesn't destroy the box when they ship it. And the cardstock seems to be rather glossy, as you can see, catching the light. I don't mind because we also look at quite vivid colors. So when there's saturation in the colors, the bold kitty is the fool. How cute is that? Do you guys want to count how many times I say cute in this presentation? The magic cat, also super cute. The high feline, that's adorable. Look at that. Oh my goodness. The goddess cat. Oh, look at her. She's so cute. The chief cat. I love it because it's got the ball of yarn. And the sacred cat. Oh, the kittens for the lovers card. That's adorable. The chariot cat. This reminds me of my reaction when I was looking at the cosplay cat tarot because it's just every time I see this, they're so adorable. Oh, look, we've got actually the association with the zodiac signs, but this is okay. So the wheel of feline, the wheel of feline, the wheel of fortune, court cat with the four justice and the catnap. Look how cute this is with the little paws. Oh, look at the death cards. So 9 lives. Love this card. Look at that. Oh my goodness. If I had a print of this card, I would frame it. It is so cute. It's adorable. And the Zen cat with the temperance card. The devil cat. The cat tower. Wow. And the cosmic cat with the Aquarius, and this is the star card. It's really adorable. And so far, I really love it. The lunar cat, of course, the solar cat. Yeah, absolutely. Ascension cat. Oh, kitty. Oh, little one. The window perch for the world. Love it with the turtle. So Ace of Paws, what did we say paws were? Pentacles, because it looks like a paw print. It's a paw print that looks like a pentacle. So Two of Paws with the runes. The Two of Pentacles with the runes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It does look like it's juggling, and there's like squash and pumpkin, and there are these runes. I'm not going to go to the guidebook as yet. By the way, these are the bags that are just as adorable. I'm not going to the guidebook as yet. I do feel the very earthy energy of this suit, by the way. It's very clear. And if you didn't notice that, there's also the alchemical symbols on the corners here. So it is very easy to find once you notice these things. The Eight of Paws. I'll just go, the Ten of Paws is so gorgeous. So it is fully scenic because that's one of the things that I was worried about, but I did have the opportunity to check that out when I was looking at the sample deck. So Ace of Claws, obviously air. The colors are not the right ones, or rather, the usual ones that you would associate with these suits, but that's okay. Oh, the Two of Claws, look at that, the Two of Swords. And the three. I love it. Oh my goodness, the 4 and the 5. Oh my goodness. You know what? I'm gonna read the 5 of Clubs because I have an idea, but I may be completely wrong with this. So let's have a look at what they give you as information. Chronopause. No, we're at clause. Pause and clause. So not the chrono clause. We want the 5. Okay. So it gives you the meaning: strife, disputes, and conflict. The message: walk away and find inner peace. The keywords: competition, winning, setback. The element: air. Numerology 5: challenges, crisis, conflict. For me, is disruption of the sacred geometry of the four, the stability of the four. That becomes a little bit of a stagnation in many cases. This mystical meowgician, it's a mystical magician. Okay. Is a master of the dark arts, draped in a veil of hidden knowledge. She vibes with an intimidating air of black magic. Lighting crackles around the yowling vibral energy. The spiderweb hints. Oh, okay. We have the spiderweb. Hints at fate's delicate threads, while a puppet floats under the control of her claws, hissing secrets of hexes and vexes. Yep, flickering candles light her path, their glow cutting through the shadows. Beware, abusing power can tangle you in its web. So I like it that it does give you an explanation of the image and a description of it, and it also tells you more about it, not the image itself, but the connection between the image and the meaning of the card. So this card is all about conflict and competition, but reminds you to wield your magic wisely. Face feuds and rivalries with a bit of chill. Just keep an eye on the shadow side of your pursuits. Instead of casting catty spells of harm, conjure coziness and harmony. Strike a balance between snarling and shielding. Scratch out your thoughts in a grimoire journal. Sometimes the fiercest battles are fought by turning conflicts into chances for growth. I love the fact that we also have the use of vocabulary that is very specific for this deck. So they could have said write down, jot down, etc. But they actually say scratch out your thoughts in a grimoire journal. So and strike a balance between snarling and shielding. So it constantly uses terms that are associated with the feline world, which I really appreciate, because to me, when there's any witticism concerning the use of the language, it's extremely interesting, because obviously English is not my native language. And so every time that I see someone using the language in a very interesting way, I can only applaud them, because it would be very difficult for me to do so. Six of claws. Oh, with the scratches on the back. Oh, it's beautiful. So we have so many runes, by the way. Seven of claws, the eight of claws, and oh my goodness, look at the nine of claws. I feel like going there and scooping him up. It's okay. You know, my cat now is, because we had days of 41 degrees and didn't even want to look at us when we were going to bed. He was like, you're too hot, just stay away from me. And now he's like, we're back to 22. And he was like, maybe I cozy up with you. And he slept the whole night, because, let me just say this, I did not catch a wink last night. I could not sleep at all. And not literally the whole night, because I was reading a book. And I made the mistake of starting to read this book like a bedtime. And I was like, I'm just going to read a couple of chapters, which is not unusual for me. But it got so scary that even though I had my snoring husband on the left and my cat on my feet, I did not want to switch off the light. I didn't want to even try and sleep. I was terrified. So this book is called I Remember You, by a Icelandic author. She's sorry, if I remember, I will write down the name. Not that I will be able to pronounce it anyway, but the title is I Remember You. If you like, this is a really really twisty story, really twisty, kind of a slow burn at the beginning, with incredibly scary cliffhangers that then unfortunately don't necessarily pan out, because it fades to black, and then when you start the new chapter, it goes, there's two, not different timelines, but two locations. And so it goes from one chapter to the other, moving location. And so you hang with you end with a cliffhanger on a chapter, and you really want to see what happens, but you had to wait and read the whole new chapter about the different location. And then when it starts the new chapter, it doesn't necessarily explain immediately what has happened, and it just feels like it's kind of tricky. So I still gave it 5 stars, because I don't remember the last time it happened that I finished a book in one sitting throughout the night, unless it's a short book, and this isn't. I just had to keep reading until I was done. And I'll tell you what, I was happy that I was done at dawn because it was already light outside, because I don't know what I would have done. Because at least whilst I was keep on reading, it gave me the idea that I was advancing, and I was doing something. But I did not want to just try and go to sleep without knowing what was happening at the end. I remember, if you like the horror genre, really twisted horror genre, check the trigger warnings, because there's a couple of things that are difficult to read. And I'm just gonna say this: creepy, incredibly creepy kids, super duper creepy kids. So if you like that, you will love that book. So 10 o'clock. Oh, it's been a year since I lost my Missy. So yeah, it's really difficult. Really, really hurts still so much. Okay, this one is easier with the fire. We've got the salamander, and it's a really bright orange color, so I love that. The Three of Tails. So this is cute and adorable. Five of Tails. I love the little cutie butt. I love my cat's butt. I tell him every time, oh my goodness, look at this. They're so fluffy. And oh, look at the ten of tails. I get it though, Elita, and taking care of all the kittens. I get that it's a ten of tails, 10 of wands kind of energy, but it's adorable. Look at that. And the dragon that is setting fire to the broom. Really on point. Very interesting, the choice of these images. Love, oh, love the two whiskers. Oh my goodness, these are catfish. Catfish? That's actually an actual fish. Okay, sorry. Four of whiskers, charting. See, this one to me, Four of Cups, the Four of Cups is necessarily presenting an air of disappointment, as in you kind of deep not appreciating enough what your choice is, what's in front of you, because you're restless within yourself. And but this to me looks like it's a really happy kind of Four of Cups, Four of Water, because there's a map here, and maybe there's this idea of traveling, but I'm not entirely sure. In any case, I like it. It's probably worth looking at the guidebook for that one. I might do that later. It is adorable. It's super duper cute. But I also like it because it's not just that. You can tell there's been thought put into the creation of this deck. It's not just cute for cuteness sake, which would have been a reason for me not to buy this deck. So I'm very happy that I was able to confirm that this is not just a cutesy dootsy. Really, really lovely. Okay, well, what happened with the last deck that I wanted to present today? I don't know. It keeps on happening, guys. My reaction is priceless, I think. So I'm just going to post it in a different video because, yeah, it's probably worth a video by itself. I literally made a fool of myself, and I'm just going to have to dig deep into my strength to find the courage to post that video in which I show my reaction to that specific deck. Because honestly, I was like, Silvia, where's your brain? Is it working? Is it switched on? Hello? Okay, you'll see. It's going to be in a different video. So now I just wanted to show you a couple of books that I bought. So this one, and I actually wanted to ask you your opinion. So I read, this is Fever House by Keith Rosen. I read Coffin Moon by Keith Rosen as the first book that I ever read by this author last year, and I loved this so much that I immediately looked what other books were written by this author, and I found this one and then the sequel to this one. And I read the premises, the synopsis of what happens in this book. I'm not entirely sure that I would like it, but then my husband saw me looking at this book, and it was actually on sale. and so he got it for me, which I think was very sweet. And I like it because it's got sprayed edges. In Australia, sprayed edges books are incredibly expensive. I know that they're probably more expensive in the US as well, but they're not like I'm not going to spend $60 on a book that costs 20 because it's got sprayed edges. I don't even know if I like it or not. So, but in any case, this was discounted, and I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know what you think. Without spoilers, please. No spoilers. Seriously, no spoilers, please. But yeah, I'm really interested because I haven't started reading it yet, but I'm very excited. Coffee Moon is one of my favorite books of 2025. It's got vampires element in there, but it's set, let's say, it's also um, some kind of a revenge story with elements of coming of age, with elements of found family, with elements of um, yeah, basically revenge. That's the most powerful theme that I felt while reading it. But I loved it because it spans over, let's say, it's got a lot of 70s energies, which I obviously always like. And I know that this book is not going to be like that. The premises are very odd, very grotesque and different. But I love the author's writing style, so I'm thinking I might enjoy it, and I can't wait to read it. And then, so just to spill the beans on something that my husband and I love to do, this is one of those books that you can find in a maybe a secondhand bookstore. And this one costed 10 Australian dollars. My husband and I love reading about these books, Great Mysteries of the Unexplained, The Extraordinary Tales of Strange Phenomena by Andrew Holland, Lucy Doncaster, and Karen Farrington. Because I know that I made it sound, by doing the voice, I made it sound almost like I was mocking it, but actually, the amount of information on, let's say, stranger things that is in these books is priceless. And the fact that no one takes them seriously. I know that, you see it immediately. The bibliography is very thin, if there is any bibliography at all. N- No, there's just picture credits, but there's no bibliography, which is always very suspicious because if you can't tell me what sources you're using, then, I don't take it seriously. Maybe it's the academic side in me, but a bibliography is a way to cover your shoulders, basically, when you do a sweeping affirmation, a sweeping declaration, and you don't want people to come at your throat, go for your throat. But this, let me just show you the reason why we bought it, because we had a look at the contents, the table of contents. So in here, you've got chapters, and they're all interesting to me. Disappearances. I mean, Agatha Christie, did you guys know that she actually disappeared for a few days? Um, uh, she claims that she had a bit of a memory spell, but she changed her name and she presented herself as a completely different person. She was found, otherwise she didn't go back. Like Stephen Fry was found in Belgium once, and he had disappeared before a performance in at the West End in London. So there's stage fright, and then there's Agatha Christie that literally disappeared, and she changed her name. I mean, you can claim memory spell, disorientation, overwhelm all you want, but if you have an alternative name already for yourself and you tell people that you're this and this person, well, super cool though, super cool. And I also know why she did it. She found out about her husband. And then Amelia Earhart, so cool because it is said that she disappeared. So obviously she was very experienced aviator, plane pilot, and it was said that she disappeared in and around the area of Guam and Saipan. And Saipan in specific, but also Guam, but Saipan in specific is on my wish list. I really want to visit because they say Japanese people go there to to try and bring rest to the spirits. Um, During the Second World War, there's so many stories of people taking their lives because they were in the war, and they didn't want to get caught. And so, wow, I mean, if I go there, I'm pretty sure that I will feel the tense atmosphere immediately. But it still really interests me to go there. So, disappearances, lost worlds, and mysterious monuments, of course, duh. I mean, some of these are actually on my wish list. I've been to Stonehenge, the Nazca Lines. My dad was absolutely obsessed with Atlantis, the Anasazi, the Age of the Pharaohs. Then there's paranormal powers with Helen Duncan, for example, Madame Blavatsky, Daniel Douglas Home, Jose Arrigo, the girl with the X-ray eyes. I know that, many of us would necessarily look at this with a bit of a condescending attitude, and seem to say, I'm just going to read this to have fun. But actually, I feel that whether you believe in these paranormal phenomena or not, it is extremely interesting to read about them and to gather knowledge about them. And honestly, disappearances are real. I mean, people do disappear in real life. And when it comes to mysterious monument, but even Sedona in Arizona, I know that a lot of you live in those areas. You can feel the energy there. There's no two ways around that. And it's not just people that are particularly sensitive about some spots of the earth. My husband felt it as well when we went at the vortex energy. Or if you go to Stonehenge, you can feel the Druidic energy. The pyramids, I couldn't even get in. You can go inside the pyramids. There's a tiny door, really tiny. I couldn't. I felt like I was, yeah, pulled and pushed, and yeah, no, couldn't go in. So there's a few things that, but even other spots that are not necessarily recognized as paranormal spots, but you can really feel the energy. I visited the Cu Chi tunnels in the suburbs of Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam, and the Cu Chi tunnels where the Viet Congs were hiding to, well, protect themselves from the US troops, but also to ambush them, because they were in these tunnels and then they came up. And I couldn't get in more than 5 meters because I felt like I was so completely overwhelmed that I was going to lose my mind. So Steve had to literally drag me back. Or the same happened in one of the underground cities in Goreme in Turkey, or in the catacombs in Paris. There's a number of places that have a lot of significant energy for me, and sometimes it's an energy that I can deal with, some other times I cannot. So, and I'm not being cocky. It's just literally something that I feel. Seers and oracles. This is super interesting. To Delphic oracle Nostradamus. The Brown Seer, Titanic predictions, the Unknown Prophet, the Hitler horoscopes, curses, the Power of Curses, the Chief Cornstalk, the Black Hope curse, creatures of mystery. You got the Kraken. I mean, how fascinating is that? I always wanted to read stuff about the Kraken. And guys, I love yokais so much. So obviously, to me, yokais are a creature of mystery. So I don't see an intellectual difference between books about yokais that have been very well documented and books like this. The difference is in the production. And obviously, if you have 50 pages worth of bibliography and sources, it really supports your theory, and it shows that you've done a lot of work. But these are just as interesting, is that I would definitely use a little bit more discernment in believing or not what I'm reading. In any case, whether you keep your mind open or not, I think that these things are very, very enjoyable. I love the fact that there's photos other than images, drawings. And my husband and I just have the time of the day. Like, this would be the argument of so many discussion that we love to have, on a weekend, maybe sipping a chai tea. So it's going to be really, really cool. So I don't know. Do you guys do this? Because I know that it may feel like, what is she doing? Is she crazy? But no, I think that we need to keep our minds. And I'm an Aquarius, guys. I'm fine. Fine, I'll be fine. Anyway, that was it for today. Thank you so much for being here. And I promise you, you will laugh at me if I find the courage to post the other video about the other deck, and you will definitely laugh at me in the next video. See you soon. Bye.